And welcome back, YouTube land. This is I, the Average Gamer, and this is part 2, or chapter 2, inside the Great Deku Tree. First dungeon of the game is pretty straightforward, nothing too complicated. The first thing we're gonna have to do is figure out what to do. Oh, and we killed that, and we got some nuts. Yay, nuts. Probably one of my more favorite items of the game, to be honest. And let's equip that. Yeah, whatever, Navi. Okay. Look at this wall. The vines growing on it give it a rough surface. Maybe you can climb it, Link. Yeah, let's climb it. We're gonna climb up here, and we're gonna go right after I look for money. One thing I never understood in the Zelda universe: money grows from grass. And we get our first treasure. I wonder what it is. I got the map. Yeah, the map's pretty helpful. If you've never played a Zelda game, the map will take out and show you everything that's going on in the game. Or the dungeon, I'm sorry. There's another thing we'll need, if you can see. Right below the map icon, above it there is another box, and above that is another box, which basically those would be: one is the compass, which shows your location, what room you've exited, all the treasure chests that have been in, and the other box would be the boss key. But we won't see the boss keys for a while. Don't climb up that vines yet, because you'll get totally killed by the Skulltalas. Simply just walk through this door. You can open a door by standing in front of it and pressing A. It'd be A on the DS, or 3DS, I'm sorry, not trying to screw up your console, and in 64. Pay attention to what the action icon says. That's the green icon or red or blue icon, and I don't know what it is on the 3DS. First boss, mini boss if you will. Pretty simple, just hold up your shield, hits it, and then follow it. Ow, 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 forgive me, master, if I give you a clue, will you let me go? When you jump off a high cliff, if you hold forward, you will roll onto the ground when you land and won't get hurt from the fall. I can't guarantee it'll work, though, if the cliff is really high. Well, try if you are feeling bold. Waha. Ha. See, that wasn't so hard. Alright. Let's go through this door. And we find a platform. Jump on the platform, and it'll freak out and climb up here. And we find another treasure. By God, what could it be? By God, we got a slingshot. More importantly, the fairy slingshot. Yeah, if you're reading that, there you go. That's what it is. I don't really need much explanation. If you played a Zelda game before, you'd understand. Navi will be green. That means there's important items. You just kind of hit the slingshot and press and hold the button, and then boom, you've got a seed in there, and let go, and boom, you've done what you came to do. Now let's backtrack back into the main room. And remember that vines I told you to avoid? Yep, we're going right there. Z target, my favorite thing to do in this game. And what's kind of a cool touch is you can go into first person mode, and as I butcher that first shot, and you can actually shoot them that way. The 3DS version has a really cool feature, is you actually can move the 3DS alongside with it, and it goes into more of a first person perspective like that, but where you move it is where it's actually going to go. It's a really cool feature later on, and when I get to that part I will explain it, how it was really cool, because I've played this on all 3 consoles now. I actually have it on all 3 consoles. Me and my brother here defend this 45. Once again, if you haven't seen it, his setup, check it out. Check out his YouTube page. He's got some videos on there. Some of you might need some help or want to watch some friendly videos. One thing I forgot to mention. I tend to like to kill everything in the room before I advance, but here's what these actually are. They're called a big Skulltala. His soft belly is his weak point. If you hadn't figured that out by now, you can also stun them and then kill them. Nothing too complicated though. Anyway, walk through the door here. You get locked out, and now we have a little puzzle. If you're so worried, I'm sorry. Look, there's no fire in here, but there's fire over there. I wonder what it does. The good news is I opened the door, but I don't really need to open the door that badly. Oh, he's down there. Alright, so we got nuts, and if you haven't figured this out here, it's a quite simple puzzle here. You just press this little block here, the platforms rise, and then you do your will. Just run across. You go the directions you want to go. And as I completely whiff on trying to open the treasure. I wonder what it is. You found the compass. Good job, guys. Good job, YouTube land. I'm proud of you. Yeah, let's kill this guy. These guys, sticks are very important early on in the game, especially when you need to carry fire around, because that's really the only puzzle they can do. Yeah, here's your seeds. They fill up your capacity pretty fast. You get 30 as your starter, but there's some seed bags and quiver bags later on that you can get that'll actually expand it. I think it gets up to as high as 60. 50. My bad. Sorry, YouTube land, for giving you some false advertising there. Oh, and then I take the first damage. Yes. These are the golden Skulltula. I don't know how you call it. I just call it the golden thing. More of a collector's item in this game. I don't really know where they all are, nor do I look up in strategy guides, because I think strategy guides are kind of cheap at the same time. I like kind of watching people play it, because then you get their ideas, how they approach a particular area, especially the water temple. That'll be interesting. My approach, probably like everyone else's approach, but we'll just see how it pans out. Alrighty, so if you remember, at the very bottom of this platform, or at the top of this dungeon, there was a giant hole. Well, we're going to jump to it. Sorry. Fighting a little cold here. Got it. And we fall to a really deep area. Yes, you saw that. There's the second one. And those are time sensitive, by the way. So you gotta make sure... missed. That you actually get it. Otherwise, it'll disappear and it'll turn back into one of those. Back into what it was. So you actually gotta be pretty fast. Later on, it doesn't get that difficult to kill these things. Alrighty. Yeah, those are 2 free ones. We've got 3 so far. Nothing too complicated. I'll collect up to a certain point. I just want to get some bigger wallets. I'll reveal what actually happened, why you need to collect them, all that stuff later on. Free heart if you got hurt. Alright. So that fire got lit up, and you're probably wondering what you got to do with it. Well, if you're looked off to my right, and you're right, there's those spider webs. So we're going to take some way to transfer fire over there. Well, good thing we've got a stick. I mean, who would have thought a stick would do all that? Simple little puzzles. These puzzles are real basic. They're not anything too complicated. And if you make sure to put your stick away before the fire burns it up, you actually can save the stick. Please forgive me, Master. I'll never do it again. If you spare me, I'll teach you something cool. You will never beat my brothers up ahead unless you punish them in the proper order. The order is 2, 3, 1. 23 is number 1. Do you think I'm a traitor? Alright, we're not out of the woods yet. We still have iron bars, but there's that weird eye. So let's go up here and boom. Shoot it with a slingshot, door opens. My commentary might be a little bland right now, but I'm working on it. I'm sure everyone will understand. Let's see. Games are always fun, for me at least. I know if y'all are watching this, obviously you're all gamers too, so gotta rip the gamers over here, the Gamers Club of America. Yeah, if you saw that, there's a switch down there, lowers the water, but not for a long time. I don't know the exact time. I would maybe guess 15 seconds. Nothing too hard. Nothing you need to stress yourself out over and try to barely make it kind of thing. I mean, this temple is basically a walkthrough, a cakewalk if you really know how to play Zelda. Once again, if you just throw a Deku Nut, you can kill those things by stunning them. I'm just showing it for the other examples, so if y'all are having trouble fighting those, you know how to get across them. Stand next to this block and grab hold of it with A. While holding A, you can push or pull it. If you stand next to the block and press A while pressing forward, you can climb the top of it. Pay attention to what the action icon says. Well, no shit, Navi. Sorry, once again. I'm trying not to cuss on camera. It just slips. Let's see. Climb this and find your way through to the next part of the dungeon. It's pretty simple. Door locks. Let's see. What's in here that's bad? Oh. Nothing hard. Let's see. This is a straightforward dungeon. Just take the fire. Or straightforward room. I'm sorry. I keep saying dungeon. Just take the fire. Open the door. Make sure you save your sticks, because who wants to either go buy sticks? I mean, who would be dumb enough to go buy sticks from the shop? Alright, and then... Oh, darn. Once another way. This room. Warning to everybody. If you need a practice to fight the boss, you go up there, go in the middle of the room, and those will drop. If you just run around the side, you don't have to fight them. And I prefer not to fight them, to be honest. I don't really like... This boss is pretty easy. I think so. We'll get to her when we get to her. But I don't... For the sake of time, the sake of argument, I don't really like to fight those things. If you notice, there is a wall here. So if you come back, which we will be going back, we can actually blow that open. And we'll see what's inside. I'm not going to reveal anything yet. Carry the fire across the long pathway. And boom. Follow this legend here. I will be doing all the other Zeldas. I have a little more commentary when it comes to the later on in the stories. Don't think I'm just talking, saying, oh, do this, do this, do this. I know that gets boring. But I digress. Now we've reached that room that we fell upon. We fell through. We've actually hit the top part of it. And yeah, I've taken a little damage here. Oh no. Yeah, we can't do anything about jumping and trying to land through it. Secret here is fire. But anyways, while we're doing this, I'll just tell you about some of the stuff that I just about myself, I guess. I'm a pretty big gamer. It's all I really ever do. I hang out with friends. I'm social. But in my free time, I like to, instead of reading books like some people, I decide to play video games. Because, in my opinion, a video game is just as good as a book. Except you get to be the character. That's why I like Zelda a lot. Alright, so we've almost reached the boss here. And if you remember what that scrub said, there's his brothers. Pretty simple, if you remember 23 is number 1. He'd be 2, and... Oh, you little thing. I'm not gonna cuss. There's 3, and let's get number 1. Yeah, how did you know our secret? How irritating. It's so annoying that I'm going to reveal the secret of Queen Goma to you. Yes, that is the boss. In order to the administrator the coup de grace to Queen Goma, strike her when she's stunned. Oh, Queenie. Sorry about that. And we got a free heart. Let's go through the door and we'll be greeted with the boss. Now, the first time I played this game, I was 8. And I had, for some reason, I could not figure out where Goma was in this room. I have no idea why. I literally probably spent a half an hour running around this room trying to figure out what that noise was. And it took me forever to figure it out because I was dumb and a stupid child. But if you look up and collect, make eye contact, boom, it triggers the fight. Alright, well, if you didn't know who this is, that is Queen Goma. It's probably one of the easiest bosses. It's a parasitic armored arachnid. You remember those nuts? Well, the nuts are my favorite part about this boss. No pun intended. Yeah, she'll try to get away. I don't think you can stun her when she's walking away. If I'm wrong, feel free to quote me and say that I'm stupid. Anyway, if you want to avoid this part, just wait till her eye turns red and shoot it. And you'll actually stun her and get a good amount of attack in. And you should beat her fairly simple. Another way to beat her is you crouch sword, which is on the GameCube controller. You press R and B because you'll crouch and you'll stab, crouch and stab. It goes faster, but like I told y'all on the other one, I don't like to cheat. So yeah, pretty simple boss, nothing too complicated. If you when she's has her eye turns red, she'll actually spawn eggs, and you have to fight miniature ones of her. It's not too hard. It's a one-hit kill, nothing too hard. Yeah, just go in the light and boom, goes the dynamite. Well done, Link. Thou hast demonstrated thy courage. Verily, maybe, I verify, sorry. I knew thou wouldst be able to carry out my wishes. Now I have yet more to tell ye. Wouldn't thou listen? No, I don't really want to, but for the sake of my audience, yes. Now listen carefully. A wicked man of the desert cast this dreadful curse upon me. This evil man ceaselessly uses his vile sorcerer's powers in his search for the sacred realm that is connected to Hyrule. For it is in that sacred realm that one will find the divine relic, the Triforce, which contains the essence of the gods. Backstory time. Before time began, before spirits and life existed, 3 golden goddesses descended upon the chaos that was Hyrule. Din, the goddess of power. Nehru, the goddess of wisdom. And Pharaoh, whatever, the goddess of courage. Din, with her strong flaming arms, she cultivated the land and created the Red Earth. Thank you. Nehru poured her wisdom onto the earth and gave the spirit of law to the world. Pharaoh, with her rich soil, produced all the life forms who would uphold the law. The 3 great goddesses, their labors complete, departed for the heavens. And the golden sacred triangles remain at the point where the goddesses left the world. Since then, the sacred triangles have become the basis of our world's providence, and the resting place of the triangles has become the sacred realm. Thou must never allow the desert man in the black armor to lay his hands on the sacred Triforce. Thou must never suffer that man with his evil heart to enter the sacred realm of legend. That evil man who cast the death curse upon me and sapped my power. Because of that curse, my end is nigh. Though your valiant efforts to break the curse was successful, I was doomed before you started. Well, then why did I do all that stuff to help you? Yes, I will pass away soon, but do not grieve for me. I've been able to tell you these important matters. This is Hyrule's final hope. Link, go now to Hyrule Castle. Therefore thou wilt surely meet the Princess of Destiny. Take this stone with you, the stone that man wanted so much that he cast the curse upon me. I always wanted to know how you can float objects like that. It'd be so cool to just sit there and be like, here's my pencil. I got a pencil! You got the Kokiri's Emerald. This is the Spirit Stone of Forest, now entrusted to you by the Great Deku Tree. Yay! The future depends upon thee, Link. Thou art courageous. Navi the Fairy helped Link to carry out my will. I entreat ye, Navi. Goodbye. And yep. Like dead trees, the leaves shall fall. Let's go to Hyrule Castle, Link. Goodbye, Great Deku Tree. Alright. Hey, Link. What did you do? The Great Deku Tree. Did he die? How could you do a thing like that? It's all your fault. It might be my fault. I might have, hit a couple nerves, but anyways, yes, ladies and gentlemen of YouTube land, this is the end of Chapter 2, and when we start Chapter 3, we'll be heading to Hyrule Castle, but right now we'll need some R&R, so till then, see you later, man.